What's up, guys? I'm back with another video. So before I get started, just understand that this video might be triggering. I might talk about things that have happened in my past that had to do with childhood trauma, stuff like that. So if it's something you do not want to listen to, I would suggest you scroll. This is going to be a different type of video than I usually make, but this is what you guys wanted, so I'm going to give you what you asked for. So let's go ahead over here, my other phone. So someone said, oof, you're very easy to listen to, but I definitely want to hear you speak on toxic parent-child relationships, and I want to hear your opinion on it. Be honest. So first and foremost, I just have to say this so you guys get the full scoop on everything. Just understand this video is probably going to be a little bit long, so I might throughout the video. But before I get started, I am Mexican and Black. I was not raised around my dad and that side of his family, so I was raised with Hispanics. My mom's Mexican and Filipino. So with that being said, everybody knows how a lot of Hispanic households are. Mexican moms, not all of them, but are, very jealous of their daughters. They're very mean to their daughters. They're just, very different type of breed of mothers. So I will say growing up in the lifestyle that I did was not great. It was, I don't know how to explain it. Like, my mom was very, very toxic. The things that she would say to us, how she would talk to her kids. Mind you guys, or keep in mind, my mom also did a lot of drugs. Since she was like 16 years old. So just keep that in mind. She was going through like heavy drugs while we were, growing up. So the one thing that I would say about like having a toxic family is it definitely molds you into something you are not. Because now that I'm in therapy and look back at my past, I can see that I was a product of my environment and I acted the way I was taught or what I seen and what I grew up around. And that's all I've known. And I'm letting you know now, guys, if you don't want that to be you forever, you can change it. It does take time though, and I'm still learning along the way. I'm not fucking perfect, but having toxic family is so detrimental to you in general. And I'll tell you how it like messed up with me. I like to tell you guys these things because one, I have come to I don't know how to explain it. Like, I'm okay with what had happened to me when I was younger. Like, it happened. I can't control it. I've had accepted it, and I'm in therapy to learn tactics to not let it bother me, if that makes sense, like it used to. So I'm able to talk about these things. So no sorries, no nothing, guys. This is all to help you guys so you can understand. There's people who go through shit too, probably even worse or even less worse, but we can all get through it, And if I can help you, I'm gonna do that. So long story short, when it came to growing up and having a very, very toxic mom, like you guys, this shit was awful. Like, my mom she never called me pretty. She used to fuck me up all the time. And I'm laughing, but it's not fucking funny. She just was very, very hard on me. Like, the way her tactics for like trying to raise me, you guys, were not good whatsoever. But I guess you can say I learned a lot from it. I don't fucking know. But anyway, my relationship with my mom was not good at all. It was not good at all. My mom had kept me away from my dad because she just didn't want me to be with my dad. I'm not going to say their full business because that's just not my place. But yeah, she just tried to keep me away from my dad. And as I grew up, my mom had these, I don't know if it was manipulative or what it was, but like, she was very much like a gaslighter. Like, she would like, I don't know, make you feel like shit about everything and like always turn everything around to her, be a victim. Like, it was like a fucking novella movie with my dramatic ass mom, you guys. Like, it was just bad. And I'm rambling at this point, but just 1 second. Let's do one here. So, basically, the whole dynamic with my mom was just really, really, really bad. I'm rambling and like going off topic back and forth. It's just because these topics with my mom kind of bother me a little bit, only because now that I'm older, I try to see things from a different perspective, but this is the one thing I can't wrap my head around because I never really wanted kids, but I do now, but I couldn't see myself doing half the shit that my mom did to me. So it's a little annoying, you know, but we're getting past it. But like, I'll give you an example. My mom was super, super toxic, and one of the things that I had grew from her was severe abandonment issues. And when I was a little girl, um, my little brother and I and my sister, we were all playing like little dolls and stuff. And I kept calling my brother the F-bomb, you know, like, because he wanted to play with girl toys, all that. And I should have been saying that, calling him gay, all that, whatever. Mind you, I'm bi. I don't want to hear this. I was a little kid. I was a little kid, guys. Like, I was like 11 or 12. So long story short, I kept saying that. My mom said not to call him that, things like that, whatever. And then my mom ended up picking me up, taking me in the car, and then leaving me somewhere in like an alleyway. And this is not the first time she did it. She's done it in the alleyway. She's done it on the freeway. She's done this shit multiple times. So when I was younger, that really stirred into my fucking soul, was ingrained into my heart, you guys. So when I was with dudes and it carried into my adult life, who would like didn't want to be with me, I would get that like scared feeling. And like, y'all, I never understood how severe my abandonment issues were until I got into therapy. And now, guys, self-love and all that has helped this. This is why I'm making this video, because I need you guys to understand that I was never this person at one point. You don't fucking wake up and are the shit. And if you are, God bless you, because, you know, you're the chosen one. But me, I had to grow into this. I grew up in a different type of lifestyle. I didn't have education. I didn't have things about mental health. I grew up very fucking poor. All the stuff that I do for myself now with therapy and taking care of my mental health and all that, I take the time and pay for those things because I didn't get that growing up. So please, if y'all really care about yourself and want a different outlook on life and want to change your life, do these things. Because from having toxic family the way that I did, you guys do not understand how bad this could have really taken me down. And you guys don't even know my past. I had drank a lot. I've done a lot of pills at one point. I had, you know, guys, I have stories about a lot of things that I have done as a kid. So when I look at things like this, when I'm an adult, it really bothers me. So if I can help y'all by you guys seeing my little dumb mistakes and my little fuck ups, that might just let you see the truth and make better decisions. You know what I mean? So continuing with the story or whatever, having toxic family affects you a lot, because at least with my mom wasn't very good with communication. She would always yell. She would like scream, never let you be heard. So that also carried into my adult life as well. On top of that, my mom had like this thing where she did not make any friends. And like, dude, the way she would argue all the time, and I'm not gonna lie to you, I picked up certain traits of hers, her protectiveness and things like that. So now that I'm older, I had to learn to break those things, because those are not traits that you want. And again, she wasn't taught those things, so she was just doing, I guess, the best that she could at the time. You know what I mean? But ladies, I'm letting you know something now. If you grew up in a lifestyle like mine, where you were in LA, you were either poor, lived in a motel like we did for some time, or just shit like that, like you didn't get a grand life, like you know what it's like to go starving for days, or not have rent, or go homeless, or have your stuff out on the street, you know what I'm talking about. You just have a different mentality. Just please understand that you can get out of that. I don't like saying masculine, because we all have masculine and feminine qualities, but the reason why I don't really care if people call me masculine or not is because, y'all, if you grew up where the fuck I did, you cannot be a sweet little girl out there. They will eat you up and spit you out. You will get jumped out there and fucked up. I'm sorry to laugh, but it's fucking true. This exterior that I ended up having, I love when people think it's a persona. No, I built this shit because of what I was accustomed to, what I was around. Does that make sense? But now that I'm not around that anymore, yes, I still like the chill out look. I still like all that. But at heart, I'm a very, very understanding person, and I try to be way better than I ever was before. So do not think that you cannot change from your past, especially if you're a woman. Don't let people call you masculine. Don't let people think that, make you feel less than, that you can't think you can change. You can change. Same thing as a man. If you used to be in the hood, you used to do dumb stuff, just stop doing all that stuff. But another thing, toxic parents and toxic family, I'm letting you guys know now, please, if you can, try your best to either, if you can, stay away from them, stay out of the home as long as you can. Try to get yourself into sports or something. Try to get a job so you can save money, because by the time you're 18, if you have a good warehouse job or something where you're getting weekly pay or somewhere you get tips, you can book it. Y'all, when I turned 18, I left. I was the first one to leave the nest out of all 6 kids. So I'm letting you know now, if I could do it, you could do it. And guys, I did jobs I never wanted to do. I was a dishwasher, bar back, forklift driver, a cook. I've done so many things, you guys, just to make sure that I had a job. And I've even worked 2 jobs at one point. So please, I'm telling you now, you can make it out of that toxicity with family. But for me, I want to keep going with this so you guys can understand like everything about toxic families. It's really hard in the beginning, because for me, I got rid of all my toxic family. Like, I stopped talking to everybody, and it was hard, you guys. Like, it was hard in the beginning because I wasn't used to being on my own, you know? Like, I didn't know how to deal with it. My mom was like still on drugs, and I'll tell you guys what happened. The last incident that happened with me and my mother, we had all got into this like big old argument, and me and my sister were fighting or whatever, which we're cool now. This was years ago, guys, like years, 2013, 2012. And long story short, me and my mom got in a big like tussle or whatever, and I don't remember what happened, but I fell. I don't think she pushed me, but I'm pretty sure I fell. I don't remember. And like I had like got hit with a metal table, not the table, the chair at the bottom, and I got a fucking knot on my head, you guys. So my grandma ended picking me up, and it was just chaotic. So I left after that and decided to stay in Vegas and not talk to my family anymore, because it just got to a point where first it's always been physical. My mom's always been a physical person, putting her hands on people, getting in people's faces, pulling your hair. My mom's always been a very, very physical person. So I had to separate myself from that and move forward with my life. So I stopped talking to them for a while. Then eventually I rekindled things, and then again, same shit. Please understand this now, guys. I am in therapy, and all the times I did rekindle things, I wasn't in therapy. I told each and every one of my family members, if you want to talk to me or be cool with me, you need to be in therapy. Guess what? Nobody's getting into therapy. So it looks like nobody's going to talk to me. I talked to my brother, my grandma, but you guys do not understand. This has been a situation that I've tried to fix time and time, and it does not hurt me anymore. Like, in the beginning, it hurt a lot, you guys. I'm not going to sit here and cap to you, because if you're going to go throughout this journey the same way I did, I want to let you know the feelings you're going to have, and no sugarcoating. It's going to hurt. You're going to cry. You're going to be sad. You're not going to know what to do. But you have to tell yourself you're strong and you need nobody. Because think about it. Your family was there the whole entire time. What were they doing? Nagging you, bringing you down, and making you feel like shit about yourself. So technically, all you do is you're without them now, without all the fucking chaos. You have nothing but peace. You guys do not understand. I know it's going to sound messed up, but I personally do not like being around my family anymore. And I know it sounds sad, but like the way that they make me feel, I don't like it. And we just don't see eye to eye. We are not the same. And I know it sounds really, really sad to say, but you guys, you have to understand, when you have been around people who have done so much shit to you, and never apologized or never sat down and talked about it, it makes you not want to deal with people. And I cannot tolerate being around little childish people anymore, because if I did something to you, I want to talk about it and apologize and say like what I did wrong, if that makes sense. And I'm just at the stage in my life where if you're not going to have an adult conversation and we can get past it, because I'm in a stage where I'm forgiving now. Y'all, I was never fucking forgiving. So if you could sit there and apologize and be an adult about it, okay, for sure, we can move past it. But without no conversation, all that, I'm 27 years old. You know what I mean? And you got to think about this. Later in life, I want kids, and I want a different dynamic for myself. And the shit that I grew up with is never going down in my house. So if you think that those people who tainted my life are going to be around my future kid, no. I'm a person who I think long term. And when I think about my future and my kids and my husband and all that, no offense, but my family, they just do not correlate with my lifestyle. Like, it just doesn't go well. And a lot of people ask me this 1,000 times. Do you feel sad over your mom? Like, do you hate your mom? Do this, do that? Guys, I've hated my mom for years. I hated that bitch. I wish her car would fucking flip. I'm just being honest with you. I hated her. You gotta think about it. She was a drug addict. She did meth, all this shit while she was pregnant with me, and I came out premature. I almost fucking died. And she lost custody of me, and I went into foster care because of her. She did not give a fuck. And then she just kept doing drugs as things progressed. And my mom never really wanted me, and then tried to keep my dad away from me. So if you guys think I was ever going to love her, it's kind of hard when you look at shit like that and just see. But with therapy and more understanding. Guys, I have to understand she's done drugs since she was 16 years old to like most of her life. She is just a different person and has always been. The only thing that I can say is I will cherish the moments that I had with my mom when, you know, say she was loaded on that fucking whatever the fuck, she would take that pookie and, you know, she would sing and dance with us, or like she would make certain things for us when we were younger. But I have very faint memories of my mom that were good, because most of them were very much abusive and a lot of things that I do not want to share on here. But yeah, I just think that it's better to forgive her and understand that there's nothing I could do to fix the situation. But shit happens, you guys. Like, I cannot choose my mom. I can't choose my family. I have to move forward. And I personally don't know what I would do, because I get asked this a lot too. If she passed away, how would I feel? I honestly don't know, you guys. Especially lately, I'm very stern, and like I'm good with keeping my emotions together, especially lately. But I'm not an emotional person as much anymore. And like, since I have already cried a lot over my mom in the past, I've kind of cried so many tears that I can't even do it anymore. So I don't know how I would feel about that. But again, no hate to her, dude, you guys. She is still in the same like really bad state and all that. So I really don't have much to say about her, but you know, hopefully everything works out for her, I guess. And then let's move on to my dad. So as far as my dad's not toxic. My dad is just like me, a goofball. And I got the pleasure of meeting my dad later in life, who's exactly like me, which I love, and we're building our relationship. So I have nothing bad to say about my dad, but the rest of my family, they were pretty much very much toxic. And guys, to say this, at one point in time, I'm not perfect either. I was toxic too. Remember, I was living in that toxicity. And then when I was around my family, I carried a lot of their bad traits into my normal life. You guys don't understand where I live at now and how peaceful it is and how I don't get in arguments and I'm very much like a different person. You guys would never understand the type of person I was before this. Like, it's insane, man. The loud mouth, the arguing, all that, the way I was, I am not the same person at all. Like, I'm telling you, growth is a beautiful thing. And you will fight it because you're so used to being the way that you are. And you take it as everybody judging you and wanting you to change. No, it's not that. You don't know you need to heal. Like, when you're the person who's like all damaged and fragile and all that, you don't even realize how much healing you need until like later you'll start realizing all the people who were trying to help you, they wasn't just telling you stuff to tell you stuff. They actually were trying to help you. So take people into consideration who are trying to actually help you too. But yeah, guys, I think that sums it up for like the whole toxic situation. As far as giving you guys tips and stuff for that, I highly recommend cutting people off. Because if people do not want to change and people do not want to have a conversation and do better, you got to understand this. If you have kids or you have future things that you want in your life, the one thing I need in my life, guys, that I never had was peace. Guys, you do not understand what I grew up around, abuse and all that, guys. I like being alone, like the peace. So I can't have people disturbing my peace, y'all. And when I have kids, what do you think I want for them? I want them to have a lavishing life. I want them to have a life I never had. I don't want them to go through SA with sexual assault. I don't want them to go through any of that stuff, abuse, any of that. So be mindful of who you keep around you, because if it's going to stress you and harm you and fuck up your mental health, think about how much it's worth it. It's not. So why do you want to keep your mom or your parents or your friends or whoever, your family, we're talking about family, around if they're just going to be detrimental to you? And I hate when people use that term like, oh my God, well, you know, they're family, like, you know, they're this, they're that. Yeah, but they're harming you. Why do you want somebody in your corner who like abuses you verbally, mentally, and doesn't do nothing for you? There's people out here who uplift you. Just remember that and get that out of your mind, that you need family, you need people. Once you start thinking for yourself, trust me, man, I am so much happier on my own. Now, no one's saying you don't get lonely, things like that. You do, guys. But then you remember when you're around your family, at least for me, how I felt unhappy. So peace, guys. This sums it up. Have a good one.